Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Morning Brew. Wherever you are, whenever you're watching, I do hope it's a good one. I would appreciate if you would share this out and give it a like. It would be most appreciated. Of course, I'm here with my coffee this morning because I'm still trying to get used to this new time. It's funny because um, technically the time hasn't changed. It's just when I get up, and it's all kind of confusing. But anyhow, I hope everyone's doing well. And let's see here. Let's start with the chat. Milton, who is obviously doing uh, voice to text, is I am hair. Good looking people. Well, that's good for you, Mr. Hare. Dave G. says, Good Morning Brew. Coffee music. Good morning, 47 Yorktown, who says bonjour from Eastern Canada. And of course, Dave says good morning to 47 Yorktown. It's always good to have our people here. All right. Dave G. Sound says apparently Congress passed a bill to adopt daylight savings time at all times. Okay, I could get used to that. I don't care. We can get rid of standard time. We can get rid of daylight savings time. I don't care which. Just keep one and stay there forever would be my preference. And of course, 47 Yorktown said, howdy to DJ Sound. So, let's see here. It is Wednesday morning, March 16th. I hope everyone's doing well today. What have you got going on today? And let's see here. Dave G. Sound says, I have no idea. They had when they had the time to deal with that bill, though, or how they agreed on it so easily. Well, let's put it this way. Most people agree on daylight savings time, whether it be keeping the old time or standard time or going to daylight savings time. They agree that changing the time is bad. So getting them to agree on one time isn't as difficult as some things, I would say. And I Love Food says, good morning, and good morning, I Love Food. And I do like that you like giving firm handshakes. I much prefer a firm handshake to a wimpy one. I know that sounds bad, but it's just, what I call the light ones are what I call like a preacher handshake. When you got to shake hands with a lot of people, or you want to be nice and you don't want to hurt somebody who's elderly or something like that. You don't necessarily grasp somebody with a firm handshake, but yeah, I definitely prefer a firm handshake, and that's just my personal opinion. DG says people are already whining about it because DST is because with children having to be at a bus stop in the dark. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Kids who are old enough don't care about it. And the kids that are too young, the parents should be there. Sorry. And good morning, Mike Jimmy, who says, good morning. Dave G. Sound says, say there to Mike Jimmy. And hey, Dave. So, let's see here. Any big plans for today? Because I actually plan on. Well, I have to make a couple of phone calls today about my surgery. See if I can get an appointment with the surgeon today. Well, not today, but see if I can get the appointment today, set up today for probably a couple weeks from now. And like Jimmy says, this morning we closed down Life on Cora number 5 campaign with I 1930 euro with 57 backers. What growth! Awesome. That is great to hear. But think of the children. Yeah, well, whatever. Children need to be either being watched or, if they're that young. I hadn't heard about that. Can you link me on that to an article, Dave? And Resolute Germ says, good morning, all. Good morning, Resolute Germ. How are you today? Keely Chow says, hey, everybody, good morning. What's going on? Not too much. Not too much at all here. Mike Jimmy says, hope you'll get your appointments fixed soon, man. Yeah, I do too. I want to get in and try to get this taken care of, even though here's the problem. By my getting the surgery, I may or may not be streaming. I definitely won't be streaming for that week after surgery. After that, I don't know. Because it all depends if I'm, well, pissed off or whatever at the time, because I'll be hurting. I'll be honest, I know that. And oh yes, and JC Sound says, hey there, Resolute Germ, and roll tide, Keely Chow. Dave will try to look up an article. That's good to hear. Thank you. I would, but I'm trying to get this, just deal with the chat right now. And Resolute Germ says, hello to Dave. Mike Jimmy says, your recovery is more important than streams. Okay, that has to be a stupid name. The Sunshine Protection Act passed unanimously. Sunshine Protection Act? Really? They couldn't come up with a better name than that? Uh, Let me see here. Let me check. Now I got to go back into the actual YouTube page. Okay. Okay, let's see here. All right. The bill is H.R. 69, 117th Congress, 2021 to 2022. It is just a brief summary. And the Sunshine Protection Act of 2021. This bill makes daylight savings time the new permanent standard time. States with areas exempt from daylight savings time may choose the standard time for those areas. In other words, Arizona can continue to be in their time zone, and there are other states that have their own things. Arizona's the biggest one that I know of. And when will this officially take place? When it becomes law. Okay, it was introduced. Okay. Introduced to the House. So it's just introduced so far. From what I've seen, even if they passed it, it's got to be passed to the Senate and then to the president. So it's far away from becoming the law, but and Resolute Germ says, what the fuck is Sunshine Protection Act? It is an act to make daylight savings time permanent. Dave G. Sound says, I tweeted you, Cap. Oh, you found it. But yeah, I found that little bit, but that's about it. And NB says, Strange New Worlds cast Kirk. Oh, I guess the fact that Kirk only met Pike once after he was promoted to fleet captain prior to Menagerie. Well, oops. This proves it has to be the stupidest thing. The problem is people won't be woke as early, Sunshine. If passed, November 2023. Okay. Whatever. We'll still have a couple years of changing the clocks. And yeah, kick Ben Franklin in the balls for suggesting daylight savings time. Yeah, that was the stupid thing. What I find funny is there's now so many stories of as to the origin of daylight savings time and the reason for it. Uh, it's just lost its actual purpose. The only parts of the U.S. that do not have daylight savings time are Hawaii, most of Arizona, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Northern Mariana Islands, Guam, and America, Somalia. Thank you. I can't talk. Actually, there is somewhere else. I can't remember which but it's only part. And good morning, rough girl. Well, actually, what happened was I found um, two free things that I could use, and I found the music on YouTube, and I found a free counter on YouTube, and so and it was the music was under the Creator Studio. I did ask LEG to help put it together for me because I was having some problems at the time with my computer getting everything to sync up right. So he put the two together for me. I did find them. So I do appreciate that. Let's see here. I think it's freaking great that people were already bitching about it because it was a change and the children. Rough Girl TV says, Captain Trek, I never changed my clocks, and even I keep everything an hour ahead always. Well, see, my clock is set behind because it's going to change when we go to daylight savings time being the standard, but that's a couple of years from now. The Senate approves the measure called the Sunshine Protection Act. Unanimously, yes. Just goes to show no one likes standard time. No, it just goes to show that nobody likes fucking changing the clocks. And to get them to agree on something is an amazing thing in and of itself. And as much as I agree with the sentiment, I'm going to skip showing that because that could be taken the wrong way. Rough Girl said, Captain Trek, with digital, I put the time zone in Venezuela. Okay. I'm not even going to try to say that. I'm. It is standard time. The hour behind. I live on the East Coast. Okay. So you live on standard time, but live on the East. You live in Eastern time. Okay, that's cool. I remember it being dark at the bus stop and rained and snowed sometimes too. And our parents didn't have to drive us to the bus stop and wait with us either. No, no. Of course, let's put it this way. We also didn't have participation trophies. We had ribbons. If you participated, you usually either got a ribbon or certificate or something to acknowledge the fact that you participated or not. Um, and, you know, first, second, and third were the most important because, well, yeah, they were first, second, and third. I don't think it's that much of a unreasonable thing. And 47 Yorktown says, please God, have the Canadian government copy American time law. That would be an amazing thing. Of course, right now, any two governments agreeing on something really is, there's not a lot of hope at this moment. At least something that's helpful to the people of the countries. So still would have different time zones or what? And it seems like a stupid question. Yes, we'd still have the same time zones, but and Rough Girl TV says my own time zone rocks. Oh, you just go as though you live in a different part of the world. Yeah, different time zones still. It's excuse me. I am, after I finish my coffee, having some issues this morning. One moment. Ah, there we go. And Rough Girl TV says, I refuse to participate in the government's social norm of minutes and seconds. And good morning, Six. How are you today? Really? Let me get that off. Now, I don't know. I kind of like the minutes and seconds thing, but, to each his own. To each his own. Let's see here. Let me go here. This is going to take me getting used to. Oh, I see you're offline, Six. I'll send you a message anyhow. Really? You're telling me I can't? Okay. Media? No? Good grief. I can't copy and paste a fucking link. I may need to add Six as a team member.
Hello, world. It's Brutal Five. Kapla.
Kapla.
Good morning, Captain.
Good morning, Bird. How are you?
Waking up, but here.
Sorry you had to.
Energized. Oh, sorry, what?
No, I'm sorry you had to leave the meeting early.
The meeting.
The round table.
Oh, yeah, the round table. Yeah, dinner came. Dinner was supposed to come. Mom wanted out. So if Mom probably wants food from out, we got food from out. But the delivery got bungled, and instead of coming a half hour before it started, it came literally just as I was supposed to talk. And then by the time I finished eating, Sassy was going nuts, and I needed to do things, and I just had to drop out. But thank you. I already forgot about it already.
Oh,
To be honest, I really didn't.
I should have messaged you because he came back on. I ended up missing it, but
And I was probably asleep.
Yeah, well, at 11 your time, yeah, I'm sure you were.
Yeah, definitely.
But he came back on he was going to be like an hour, and it was just going to be doing music,
right,
singing and such.
I would have preferred that, to be honest, to the round table anyway on that topic, but
And I would have
nice.
too.
It was nice either way. And good morning, Six, Dave G, Rough Girl, Kapla, NB. Good morning.
I need to get back into the Expanse, or try to get back. Try to get into the Expanse. I just couldn't.
The first season's all set up, very hard to get through. The second and third seasons are good. The fourth season really falls, and the fifth season is so, in my opinion. It kind of goes out on a whimper. Not that there's not a massive, thing in the fifth season, but as quality of the show goes, kind of a whimper. There is a massive thing to look forward to, but massive. And the end of season 4 to early season 5 is like the biggest events of the entire series.
Well, I still don't know if it's worth it, though, quite honestly. I mean, it's like, the first season's set up. Okay, so far it's what I've watched is boring. Second, third season are great. Fourth season, Fifth season,
Yeah, unfortunately, Expanse used to be must watch TV, and after the fourth and fifth season, it's like, was it worth it? I don't know. You got nothing else to watch? Maybe, I guess, but it's certainly not. No. Drop everything you're doing, buy an Amazon subscription if you don't already have it, and watch.
Yeah.
I'd still much prefer you watch the first, if you haven't, 2 seasons of what For All Mankind. The third season should be dropping soon on Apple TV, which is only $5.99 a month. So even if you couldn't binge it in its 7-day free trial, you could certainly binge it in a month.
It's well worth considering.
And you
And
can get Apple on your Android device or your Roku, your Fire TV. So don't use the excuse that Apple only works on Apple devices, which is completely untrue, despite what other bigger YouTubers often claim as an excuse not to watch it.
And good morning, Snorter Poopus Cuber.
Kapla, Keely Chow, Snorted Poopus. So, Cap, we won. We won. Possibly. I mean, victory, not yet, but the bill in the Senate for a permanent DST. As I said, I didn't care which they did, permanent or zero, but just pick one and go with it.
Exactly. I think that more people than not would prefer to have one thing, not go back and forth. And since most of the year is in daylight savings time anyhow, why not just stay with it? It just seems ridiculous to go back and forth with really little benefit. I mean, when you've got Republicans and Democrats agreeing, that says something. Well, and the independents. So, yeah. But anyhow, how does everybody in the chat feel about having getting rid of time changes? Because of daylight savings time, because of the new standard time, at least then it'll be, more predictable. We're not going, oh, well, when do I have to set my clocks back? When do I have to set them forward? Blah, 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 blah. No. Screw that. And I do think that Canada will probably end up following the U.S. eventually.
Canada always follows the U.S. when we change the clock. And Europe will follow too.
Well, personally, I like falling back, but that's just me. But I would like one time, whether it's staying forward or falling back, I didn't care. Now that they're saying they want to pass the
Sunshine Protection Act.
Sunshine Protection Act and keep daylight savings time as the new standard time, I'm fine with it.
I mean, we're already in DST like 3/4 of the year.
Yep.
Or 2/3 of the year. So it's like, it's only a few months. It's only November, December, January, February, March. Fuck, that's almost half the year. Never mind. But DST is longer than no DST.
Correct. Uh, well, I don't know about that. I can't speak to that. So, so what is going on, everyone? I'm looking forward to finding out more about this bill.
Well, it's full of bullshit. Like, oh, it makes kids less obese and all this bullshit, feel good stuff that I could just like throw up at because it does none of that. But I was supposed to lower crime, make kids healthier, all this nonsense. But listen, I don't care what they're using to justify it or not. It just stops confusion, stops the annoyance, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
We finally do something to leave the next generation better off. Yeah, there, Sonny, one day in the olden days, we used to have to change our clocks twice a year. Why would you do that, Grandpa? Because of the idiots in the government there, Sonny. They used to think that if we took an hour from the back and put it on the front, we could make more daylight. Like, silly Grandpa. Our artificial sun makes all the daylight we need. We always have 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness in our dome. Yeah, Sonny, let me tell you, there didn't always used to be a dome. Now you're just talking nonsense, Grandpa. There's nothing outside the dome. The dome is love. The dome is our home. We love the dome. No, Sonny, there's stars out there and wilderness and oh, it's time to give Grandpa his medication again, Mom. He's talking about stars and a globe. Gosh darn it, I tell you, this is a planet we're living on, a round thing in space. Come now, Dad. Stop talking nonsense. You know there's no globe.
Oh Lord, no.
A flat Earth society took over a long time ago. We
Oh
all live
Lord.
in a dome on the back of a turtle.
Lord. Where's that one? Let's see here. Banner. There it is. Keep going, Bird.
The dome is loved. Grandpa, there are other domes? Yes, Sonny, there's domes all over the planet. Why did they build the domes? They built them to keep us apart, Billy. They built us. They told us it was for our benefit, Billy. They said it was to keep the viruses out. But then they just locked us all in, Billy. And now we can't go. You had uncles in another dome, Billy. That's just silly, Grandpa. Why would they do that? Why would they lie to us? Because they're politicians, Billy. That's what they do. No, Grandpa, my school says the politicians love us and they sacrifice their lives for us. Why would they do that to us? You're just lying, Grandpa. Billy, Really, if you remember one thing, remember you have to take down the dome. Okay, sir. Time to move on. You're going to be picked up now. You're going to be taken to the re-education center. Re-educated? Why do I need to be re-educated? I already know. Yeah, so you think you know. You obviously don't. You're out here spouting lies about there being life outside the dome. God damn it! I know there's life outside the dome. I was lived it. I used to drive my truck from here to Washington to the other Washington, clear across the country. I've seen the Rocky Mountains and the Grand Canyon. Okay, I took the steps up to Mount Rushmore. I I I saw the largest ball of twine. I've driven Route 66. Sir, you're speaking nonsense. You're coming with us. None of this stuff makes any sense. This is a picture of me at the Grand Canyon. Sir, that's clearly photoshopped. I believe that was the Windows 2029 background. It's clearly made in a lab. There's a moon. What about the moon? You couldn't have hid the moon. Sir, I don't know what you're talking about, but if you moon me, I'm going to give you a jab with my pain stick. God damn. We never should have let Klingon pain sticks go on to police protection. Police protection. No, Klingons. You said Klingons, didn't you? Yes, Star Trek. What? Are you going to say Star Trek is real? Well, no, but it shows the Earth. It's like, yeah, because it's a TV show, sir. That's all made up. It's all nothing. Well, the Earth isn't made up. Sure it is, sir. Sure it is. And next you're going to say the Vulcans are going to come down, huh? Okay, nanu, sir. Go on into the re-education camp. I'm not going. You're going to have to drag me. Well, then we'll have our robot of mercy drag you. What's a mercy robot? You beg for it once it touches you. Oh, that doesn't sound pleasant. Yeah, 5 minutes, sir, and then I call the robot. 5 minutes? God damn it. Let me look outside the dome for 1 minute. In fact, let me out of the dome and I'll never come back. I'll never tell anyone else. You don't have to worry about me. Sir, there's nothing outside the dome. If there's nothing outside the dome, then what's that airlock exit right there? What, sir? The airlock. It says airlock exit right there. There's all these signs that point to an exit. It's fire code. Sir, I don't know what you're talking about, but that clearly doesn't say airlock. It says air block because it blocks the air from leaving the dome. No, it says airlock. Well, the B fell off. I'm going. Stop him. He's making a run for the air block. Okay. Aim. Shoot. Oh, I regret I have only one life to give for my... He was going to say he regretted he had only one life to give for his dome, people. Write that down. Hero of the dome. William T. Buchwald, Sr., dead at 112.
And good morning, Dr. Alex. How are you today?
Well, there's domes everywhere. Every city has been domed in, and they're kept apart, except for the elites who have communications between the domes where they talk about different ways of keeping the population in check and, keeping people in their place by making sure new generations grow up not believing there's anything outside their dome. But of course, the rich and the famous leave the domes and they get to travel to all the national parks and they don't have to worry about poor people and, undesirables polluting the planet and shit.
Interesting.
Take care, Resolute. I was going to be late, but that was more than worth it. Dr. Alex, sorry.
Go.
Dr. Alex says, I'm hungry and on the train. And I am sure Bird could write an episode for me. Well, Dr. Alex, be sure to take that if you want and spin it into an episode. I don't know enough about the Doctor Who universe. I didn't even know there was a dog until you told me about Canine. Bye, Resolute.
Resolute.
Mamo Prey. Wordle in 5. That's quite long for Mamo Prey. Must be a tough one. Damon Togg will fly his Demengi dome ship, the Domer, at Karoga. I didn't even bring Karoga. The Karogan Dome is the nicest dome of all, by the way, just so you know. If you have to be put in a dome, you want to be in the Karogan Dome.
Well, I can say this much: I wouldn't want to be put in a dome in Arizona.
Well, it's all, it blocks the sun, so it's all climate controlled in the dome. It makes its own sun, it makes its own weather inside the dome.
My question is, why aren't there
and there's no tornadoes in the dome, there's no hail in the dome, there's no hurricanes in the dome.
Why?
Hell, there's no earthquakes in the dome because they're hydraulically whatever.
Why aren't there tunnels between these domes?
Because they don't wish it. There's airlocks, and you can get out the airlock and go on there's probably like a high-speed rail or something, or Tesla's. What did Tesla building? The suction, whatever.
I don't know what the hell it is.
Well, some type of high-speed rail,
Yeah.
say, between the domes, and also private planes and shit between domes, and just to like destinations. Like I said, the rich and famous, they still get to go out. And, they still get to have their wedding at the waterfall in Hawaii. And they don't have to worry about the press taking pictures of them and stuff. They'll go out on the beach and it's all for them.
Yeah.
There's no internet outside the dome, so there's no worry of people having their pictures transmitted in real time.
I'm surprised there's internet inside the dome.
Yes, some domes do have a dome inside. You could be in a double dome. In fact, that's the dome where they put the people who refuse to believe there's a dome. This way, if they escape, they just find another dome and another dome.
Sounds interesting, but that would require knowing which.
The temperature inside the dome, Prey is thinking she might want to go to the dome. No, there won't be need for cars, Dr. Alex. Everything is walking distance in the dome. And if you can't walk, you're at a dome lot.
Well, I like Deji sound. Cars have dome lights inside.
That's true. Cars have dome lights. So if we take all the cars off the streets, we have plenty of lights to light our dome.
So, if we don't have the cars on the street, what are we going to have making the pollution so people don't see the stars? Or
the dome is opaque. Pollution? The dome isn't clear. The dome is opaque. Think of it more like the Truman Show dome.
That would require me have watched the Truman Show.
You've never seen the Truman Show?
No.
Oh, it's certainly a worthwhile watch, yeah. Did you not watch it because of Jim Carrey?
Correct.
Well, he doesn't play a Jim Carrey character. So it's just any other actor in that movie. It's not a comedy, you understand. It's a drama.
Well, I may have to see it sometime.
You should. You should. If Cinema Saturday was still a thing, I'd put it up.
And Dr. Alex says, I was just answering, what does Tesla build? Cars was his answer.
Oh, well, not cars. Oh, okay. Tesla builds cars. That's technically correct. I meant Elon Musk. God damn it, what's it called? He's trying to build one between LA and San Francisco. Hyperloop. Is Hyperloop. It'll be like a Hyperloop between the domes.
And one opening catchphrase, because I kind of borrowed it from Culture Casino.
You know, I heard in fact, I think he's at 1.5 million subscribers. YouTuber that has a very similar opening to good morning, good afternoon, good night. He's called Tim the Tap Man. He mostly plays Call of Duty.
Never heard of him.
Apparently, unless you're into Call of Duty, you probably didn't. But he's a massive Call of Duty player, and like he's, I guess, well known in that community. So if he's in the game, like everybody is trying to see if it's really him and shit. He's got so many. I mean, he puts us nerd channels to shame in size and whatnot.
Well, yeah.
And he played one day he played. One day, I'm like, I've only been watching this guy for maybe a month, and not even that, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks. And so one of the videos, he played a trivia game, and the trivia question he lost on was, who was captain of the USS Voyager? And the options were Kirk, Picard, Janeway, and Cisco. And he's like, I don't know this. I'm not a Trekkie. I'm not into Trek. Star Trek is not my thing. He's like, I guess it's got to be Kirk, right? No, he went with Kirk. He's like, it's either Kirk or Picard. Like, oh, so this is what a normie looks like.
Yep. And
then
Dr.
I
Alex
think,
says, seems 1 million plus people are into it. Then you think what?
I'm pretty sure at the end he said, "Ah, shit." He's like, I guess Voyager was the one with the space station.
Oh my god. Oh my god, how stupid. I mean,
we can say stupid, but it's just that he never watched it, so wasn't his thing. It's like asking me of a question about, what happened in Sex and the City, or what happened on Friends. You could say stupid, but I never watched. So how the fuck am I supposed to know? Kapla Robert Rose Jr. Cap
good
muted.
morning,
Okay.
Robert Rose Jr. Getting ready to go get my coffee. Give me just a second.
Dave G says R2D2. Oh, that Dalek from Star Trek, right? I tell you, you'd be hard pressed to distinguish R2D2 from Discovery. And certainly wouldn't be surprised if R2D2 popped out of the Discovery and started repairing the ship these days.
I can't say I'd be shocked by it. In fact, that might actually make an improvement.
I gotta
Particularly
say,
if we
sorry,
could get it Burnham. Go ahead.
as a Cap, your karaoke stream yesterday was perfectly timed. I was really debating going on at just when I went to check YouTube. I was thinking of streaming of me just singing, pretending I was in my Jeep and singing something on the Bird of Prey 5X channel. But then I saw you doing karaoke. I was, oh, perfect. Answered my prayers. It would have been a lot of work for 1 or 2 songs.
Well, you could have shown it on the Burrow Prey 5X channel.
I could have what?
Rebroadcast it.
Oh, no. I don't like doing that.
Wouldn't bother me.
No, well, thank you, but actually, Bird of Prey 5X channel lost, I don't know, 5 subscribers. It's the first time it's lost. Usually those people were there. They were there forever.
Let me. Now you got me thinking. Let me check Burger Prey 5X channel. There it is, Burger Prey 5X. What the hell?
You
I was
unsubscribed?
unsubscribed.
It's time for me to do today's Wordle, Captain.
Yes.
So let's see. I will only tell people the word I start with, and I'm not going to give any hints as to what the answer might be. I have no idea. Right now, it's a blank slate. All I know is that Mama Prey took her 5 tries. Let's start with the word peach. Peach. Oh, nice. I don't have any letter. Well, I don't have any letters in the right spot, but I have more than one letter to use.
Cool. Well, what are the letters that aren't on there? Let me ask that.
What letters are not?
Correct.
Okay. So, well, this is spoiler, Wordle spoiler. So if you guys don't want a spoiler, mute for 10 seconds. P and H, Paul and Henry, are not there.
Okay.
Let's see.
And
Wow.
yes.
Now I got 2 letters in the right spot.
What word is it?
Again, spoiler. The word is case, Caste. I've got 2 letters in the right spot and 2 letters in the wrong spot.
Ah, cool. Well, unfortunately, that's not a 5-letter word.
Okay, Mama Pray, one question about the Wordle.
Yeah.
Was it a word you knew?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it comes down to being words we've never heard of and just having to try all the letters till we find something that works.
Mm-hmm. Dave G. Sound says.
Okay, on the 3rd try, I have 3 letters in the right spot, and the only 2 letters are in the wrong spot. So the only place for them to go is to switch them. So this is definitely the right answer in the 4th try. funny. I guess I never thought it would be spelled that way. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now I have to do my Wordle in one video. Well, not this second, but
Well, I mean,
Dave G, one day birds with an S might be the word.
that's true. It's the Pokemon for adults.
You don't have to be an adult to play. Mom O'Prey yesterday finished the entire Wordle archive. So, no, you didn't? I thought you said you did. Oh, I thought you said you finished. Oh, never mind. Okay. She's up to number 165. She started with number 1 and played her way up to 165. I think we started playing around 250, 220, 230. Yeah. Well, we're up to today was game 270. So 220, 230, something like that.
Well, is she pacing herself, or is she going to end up running out of worlds?
Oh, she'll end up running out of Wordles eventually because they're not like they're adding any more. Every one they add is we play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only do one a day. Good morning, Courtney. Fellowship of Oddballs.
Good morning, Courtney. How are you today? Let's see now. All right. Let's see here.
Cap, I need a few minutes.
Go for it. I'll cover this bill.
I'll mute and be back when I can.
Awesome. Now, thank you, Dave G Sound, for sending this to me. This is from CNET. Senate unanimously passes bill to make daylight savings time permanent. Excuse me. The U.S. Senate has unanimously passed a bill to make daylight savings time permanent across the nation. The Sunshine Protection Act still has to face the House, but if it's eventually passed, would mean an end to changing clocks twice a year, a potential end to a very depressing early afternoons of darkness during the winter. Republican Senator Marco Rubio, who introduced the bill in 2021, said Tuesday that permanent daylight savings time will prevent pedestrian accidents and reduce crime and decrease seasonal depression and childhood obesity. Yeah, that's all bullshit. The bipartisan bill is, quote, common sense, unquote, according to co-sponsored Democratic Senator Ron Wyden, springing forward and falling back year after year only creates unnecessary confusion while harming Americans' health and our economy. What? Making daylight savings time permanent would give folks an hour back of sunshine during the winter months when it is needed the most. Daylight savings time this year begins on Sunday and is set to last until November 6th. The bill delays the implementation of permanent daylight savings time until November 2023 to give airlines and railways time to adjust their schedules. The American Sleep Medicine has previously argued for the reverse, saying in 2020 studies that the public health and safety would benefit from daylight savings time being eliminated altogether. Permanent year-round standard time would be the best choice to closely match our circadian sleep cycle, said the studies leader author David M. Whatever. Daylight savings time results in more darkness in the morning and more light in the evening, disrupting the body's natural rhythm. Okay, whatever. That's what it said. I read it. And I'm glad to hear that. Because minus are typing. Sorry to open up the DST debate. No, you didn't. It's good. It's something that not going to be much argument about. I mean, there's going to be some argument which is better, but both sides seem to agree that having one over both is better. And I think people would get used to it either way. And it's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs says, Davey Sound, I play Pokemon Go. LOL. What's this other game? The other game is Wordle. Wordle is a 5-letter word that you try to guess the word for the day. Davey said it's a word letter Scrabble thing, or whatever, that took off real fast. Real popular with some. Blue-collar workers have proven that the circadian sleep cycle is moot for centuries. I would tend to agree. So, personally, I would prefer standard time, but I'm happy with if they switch to daylight savings time, as long as after 2023 we don't switch clocks anymore. So contact your senators, tell them keep daylight savings time permanent. You know, it doesn't cost a lot to email your senator. You can actually send a letter. You could Google your state, excuse me, and find out the senators that you need to contact. Okay, and Deji Sound says you still have to worry about leap year cap. I'm not worried about it. Happens once every 4 years, just like an election. And Mexican Iron Man says, I hate daylight savings time. Hello and morning to my, according to Hollywood, my Colonel colonial oppressor folk. Greetings to the tortilla farm. From the tortilla farm, excuse me. And Mexican Iron Man, I know I sent you a message before. I had another idea that I want to talk to you about. If we talk again soon, I'll tell you about it. But let's just put it this way. After tax season, I think we should start having a Mexican Monday on Morning Brew. You still have to worry about election year cap. LOL. Well, yeah, unfortunately that's true. But at least it's only once every 4 years. Have to hear about the shit for a lot longer, but hey, maybe we ought to follow other countries and limit the propaganda. I mean, advertising time to a certain number of days before the election. That's one thing I like that other countries have is they don't allow a lot of the bullshit that we have here. You know, stuff mailed out months ahead of time, things on TV months ahead of time. It's all a bunch of shit. And I thought I heard Bird for a second, but apparently I didn't.
I was just getting back. Yeah. So I heard you talk about something about hearing election stuff
Yes.
months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, one, we have early elections that can start a month in advance. So, that's kind of weird. Like, if you wait to campaign, you might miss votes of people who've already voted, unless you start, well before early voting starts. I'm completely against early voting, mostly for that reason.
Well, I
Should
would
be,
get rid of early voting.
yes, I would too. Or maybe a day. If you want to do it over 2 days or 3 days, fine, but not weeks ahead of time.
No.
Um, and I'd say then once the voting starts, campaigning must end. The problem is that it's a states' rights issue, more or less, how voting is conducted, even for federal elections.
Mm-hmm.
The feds have to just take what the states tell them. The states get to run their own elections, which is fine, but I think each state should should get rid of early voting.
I tend to agree. I don't think it'll happen, but I agree.
But I didn't think the end of daylight saving time happened. And it hasn't happened yet, let's be clear. But this is a strong message. So who knows?
How about late voting? Well, according to some, we already have that. That's all I'm going to say. So we've covered daylight savings time. and elections. Uh, Anything you want to talk about, Bird?
Um, there's lots of things I want to talk about. They would all get your channel pulled from YouTube.
Okay, is there anything you want to talk about that wouldn't get my channel pulled from YouTube? Something
That's
that
a
you wouldn't necessarily want to talk about on your channel, but
significantly smaller bag. Um, Not particularly, unless maybe somebody out there knows. I was looking for a game, something that would be, but it's not, something like a road trip simulator. Now, I put in road trip simulator and I brought up a couple of games, one that's not out yet. Um, and there's Truck Simulator, American Truck Simulator, which looks beautiful, but isn't what I want. I don't want to have to drive a tractor trailer. I don't want to have a job in order to raise money to go on a road trip where I have to mow lawns before I can drive. I just want like Beam NG Drive is closest to it. I just want a game where I can get a car that looks reasonably well, like a car or a Jeep, and just drive. And the graphics, they don't have to be as updated as like Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it would be cool if it were. Where I could drive on, highways from the U.S. interstate system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they only had like I-95 or I-80 or something like that, that'd be fine.
Right.
Ideally, it would have all the highways, and I could just drive, and the time of the day would could be adjustable. It could be real time. It could be faster. I could set it to night. I could set it to morning. The weather would vary. It could be set to real time weather, or I could make it, a lot like basically Microsoft Flight Simulator
Mhm.
10 or whatever, not 10, 2020. But instead of a plane, it's with cars. And I just want to be able to drive the roads like I used to be able to. And if I, hit a few pedestrians along the way and get some points for that, all the better. But just a road trip simulator. Is that a road trip simulator linked up to GPS and satellites and all the current weather systems, everything? Is that too much to ask?
I would say no, but then you'd have to rely on real time updates.
Okay, so let's say it just downloads 5 gigs worth of map, and it's not real time, and it's not like real pictures. It's just desert, mountain, country, city, and flames. I could live with that too. Like Beam NG Drive does damn good simulations of the physics, simulations of the cars, and simulations of landscape. But it's not really a road trip simulator. You can't change the time, I don't think, or the weather. And there's no actual like integrated highway system. There's no way to drive New York to Florida or California, anything like that.
And Dave G. Sound says, dude, you're a crazy bird. You want a video game driving 95 in traffic? Okay, bud, take the meds.
Well, I don't want there to be traffic. And if there is traffic, I want to be able to go around the traffic on the side, on the shoulder, without having the police come after me.
And then Dave G. Sound says 5 gigs worth of map, 15 gigs of traffic. And good afternoon, Dalek451. How are you today?
Okay, let me update that. If the police come after me, I want to be able to outrun them without, being arrested, killed.
Ah.
So that's fine. If the police chase for doing blatantly illegal stuff, that's okay. But at some point, they've got to back off if I smash into them or lose them on a country road or something. No helicopters. Helicopters are unfair. Give the police too much of an advantage. If they get a helicopter, then I get a helicopter.
Well, I like that idea. And Dave G. Sound said it's called GTA Bird.
Honestly, GTA 5 is the closest to a driving simulator, a road trip simulator there is. He's absolutely right. He is.
Yep.
I should go back to GTA 5.
What's stopping you?
I guess I just have to reinstall it.
Well, if it's something you enjoy, I would. You could even stream that. I'm sure that there'd be plenty of people who would watch you play it.
I used to.
And yeah, I have no doubt you were serious, Dave.
Shouldn't GTA 6 be coming out soon?
Let's see here.
I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out with the last consoles, with the last generation, the PlayStation 4. Grand Theft Auto had already been out before the PlayStation 4.
Okay. Let's see. When was that produced? February 2022. Okay, starting with possible release dates, it's worth giving a bit of background. While GTA 5 was released in 2013, apparently didn't start work on GTA 6 until 2014. Blah, blah, blah. Finally, Broken Cover to announce that it is indeed working on GTA 6. While it hasn't gotten anything to share right now, more news will come in due course. So apparently they're working on GTA 6. Eventually, it'll come out.
They've got nothing to show yet, then they're years away from a release.
Yep. And Delic451 has been asleep all morning after staying up all night, Captain Trek. Got a afternoon of writing ahead. Well, hopefully you get your writing done today. And Burner 5, I play simulator games too. For me, it's trains. I always had a passion for trains, says Dalek451.
Honestly, I was looking at Train Simulator, but I didn't know if it would be. I mean, I just want to like look at the landscape and whatnot. And I mean, what does it matter if I'm driving a train or a car, I guess. But I don't know.
Apparently, Dave G. Sand plays Train Simulator 2021.
Does it have like landscapes like I'm talking about? That you can go from city to forest to country to desert? Do animals run across the tracks?
That's a good question. Those are all good questions, actually. But hopefully Dave is able to put in an answer to those questions. Be nice to know if and Dalek451 says I play TS 2022 and TSW 2. And Dave G. Sound says, yes, Bert, it looks nice and chill. If you take the simulator, alarm, speech check, etc. out of it.
Thank you, Dave.
So I'd say it's worth considering at least, if nothing else. You can turn off the sim aspects and relax driving trains. Sounds like a fun time. So let's see here. By the way, you haven't played any games in a while, have you, Bird?
Me? What do you mean? Like
Yes.
streamed played?
Call of Duty. Yeah.
I mean, I played Call of Duty
When was the
last
last
night. I
time
just
you did?
didn't stream it. I don't remember
Okay.
when I streamed it last, but I play it not for long. I don't have a lot of time. I played like 15 minutes, 20 minutes last night.
Oh, when you get to feeling better, maybe you could start streaming it again.
Well, the thing is, I just need to know I'm going to be playing it for at least an hour or so before it's worth putting in the time to set up the stream.
Right. Let's see here. And currently, Mead Radio is live. And Lucky's Mornings of Mischief is coming up in about 20 minutes. Let's see here. So let's see here. Let's go do a raid on Mead Radio. Say Cap sent you. And we're going to call this a stream. Thank you very much for joining. And have a great day.